An interesting property of large language models is that in many cases they can actually reason better if they break a problem down into a bunch of smaller problems. So sometimes they can even reason better if they explain their thought process. Now there's a number of sort of hypotheses about why this might be, but I think intuitively if we can think about, a large language model may have seen particular problems broken down into a series of steps. So if it can go and follow the individual steps, it will know what to generate next in order to, produce the output that's needed to solve a particular step. Now that's going to be discussed later in the course, these ideas of breaking things down. But right now we can actually tap into a simple technique, a simple pattern to help us with automatically breaking things down to try to get better answers out of large language models. And a simple way to do that is just to ask the large language model to always take questions or problems and subdivide them into a series of individual questions or sub-problems that could be useful in answering the overall question or in solving the overall problem. So we can simply program our large language model to do this. Now, the cognitive verifier pattern is exactly for this purpose. What we're going to do is we're going to tell the large language model, whenever you're asked a question, follow these rules. Generate a number of additional questions that would help more accurately answer the question. Combine the answers to the individual questions to produce the final answer to the overall question. Now, again, sort of intuitively, we can think about this. If we have a generic question or some particular question that we ask the large language model, it can go and tap into what it's seen, the patterns it's seen in the training data to see what are other questions that are often related to this question. So one, it can help it sort of think about, or collect from its knowledge base other questions that would typically be associated with that question. And when it's finding these other questions, there are likely to be other questions that are relevant to that question and will provide additional details or context to answer the question. And then when we go and give answers to all of those individual sort of sub-questions, it's then going to have additional context to give us a better overall answer. And it also helps us as the users to structure our thinking. Because when we go and ask and it begins breaking questions down, it'll help us sort of realize what are additional dimensions to the problems. So let's take a look at this in practice. So here I am, I'm saying when you're asked a question, follow these rules, generate a number of additional questions that would help more accurately answer the question.